Another Sober Life podcast. I'm your host, Scott Jones, and we've got a great guest with us. Just want to remind you that if you like this show, make sure you subscribe to the channel and certainly share it with your friends. We're constantly bringing you new stuff about, not just about recovery from addictions, but recovery from everything. And pretty much everyone out there needs help with in some way.
Correct.
So there's always something going on. Let's see. And if you want to put your comments in, if you're watching on YouTube, just put it in the comments. Facebook, put it in the comments. We'd love to answer your questions. Right now, I want to introduce you to, I'm going to try to get this right.
Good luck.
Heather Palacios.
Wow, really good.
I got it right?
Yeah, I can't even say my last name right.
See, with a name like Jones, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm from Chicago, but I married a Cuban.
Oh, wow.
I moved to Florida.
What was your name before?
Funk.
Heather Funk?
Yeah.
Okay, so you understand trauma growing up with the name Heather Funk.
Of course I do. I need recovery. Why do you think I got married?
Really? Just to change the name.
I had to get rid of Funk, man.
Any name, right?
I'll take anything.
Let's see, with a name like Jones, nobody ever messes it up.
No.
One time I was in San Diego and I went into a restaurant, put my name in, and a few minutes later they said, Jonas, party of four,
Oh,
Jonas.
well,
that was the one time they got my name.
Yeah.
Wrong. But
and being married to a Cuban, I can see where that happened.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you get 1,000 different. So
people,
Palacios.
Palacios, Palacio, Palacacos.
Oh my God, Heather, we met a while back. You took one of our trainings.
Oh yeah, so good.
You know, from about interventions and dealing with addictions and mental health. And we got to find out what you were doing, which is absolutely amazing. Let's start off. First of all, it's called Wonderful. So you can hold it up if you want.
All right.
But it's called Wonderful, and it's about what?
And it's a life box.
So Wonderful life box.
Yeah. So we provide life boxes to anyone, anywhere, going through anything, so they will not give up. Because I believe that one more suicide is one too many. And since our inception in November 2020, 32 months later, we have done 10,911 life boxes to all 50 states and 14 countries.
I just typed this wrong. But what made you start it though?
What'd you type wrong? Did you put it's got the H in there, you know?
Yeah, I know. I did it wrong.
That's wonderful.
Wonderful.
I can't win with my name.
I got too many. Your names are all messed up.
Wonderful Funk Placas.
There we go. Now we got it. Save and let's put it up there.
There you go.
All right. So they can go to wonderful.com. Okay. You got the light box. What got you going in that direction though? I mean, this is
right. Well, I've been reaching out and ministering to and connecting with people on the fringe of life since 2000. But during the COVID pandemic shutdown, I could no longer visit psychiatric wards and hospitals and detoxes and prisons to encourage these people. We couldn't go anywhere. So my friend Julie came over, and out of my dining room, we started shipping what I normally would have taken in a visitation to somebody that's struggling. And that became known as the Life Box. And in 32 months, it's grown. We've done 10,911 life boxes.
But struggling with what specifically?
Anything. And the reason I know that sounds so, so like, general, but suicide happens for so many reasons. And I don't want anybody to die by suicide. That's the lane I stay in, Scott. Now, y'all don't know this, but Scott is multi-talented, stacked with talents. And we'll get into that later because it's unprecedented how gifted he is in so many areas. Me, I'm a simpleton. I stay in one lane, help people not die by suicide. And so there's no life box request we'll turn down. You could, for anything.
So, all right, let's go to the beginning.
Okay.
Because you're not just born and say, I'm going to hand out boxes to people who want to do suicide.
Right.
That's not something, I'm sure you didn't do that in show and tell at school, and
Right.
it wasn't where you were going.
Right. Right.
Where were you going, and what happened, and what put you on this direction?
Right. So at 8 years old in 1981, living on.
And she's from Chicago. We're not going to hold that against her.
No, don't hold that against me or my accent. I can't get rid of it. I was 8 years old and living in the Midwest and didn't want to live. And in 1981, that was very unprecedented, unorthodox. There was no mental health movements, agendas, coalitions, blah, blah, blah. There was nothing. But it's corroborated by my 8-year-old journal that I still have and a letter on my butterfly stationery that I mailed to my grandma saying, I just want to die.
Where was that coming from? There's, generally when there's a darkness like that, it's pointed in a direction.
Mm-hmm.
It's either coming from a lack of self-knowledge or self-love, or it's coming from pressures from maybe family or pain.
Tough home life. And I try to not dive into the details of that, but not, so I had a tough home life and I had a tough school life. I was being brutally bullied.
Really?
Yeah. And so there was no safe place for me. Where I spent 8 hours a day was not safe. And where I spent the remaining, in a 24-hour day of 8 hours at school wasn't safe. And I just didn't want to live.
I get it. And I don't want to go into all the details. I just like to point that out because, some people might be feeling something. And it's like, understand that I think somebody walking around and looking at somebody like you and they're like, oh my God. I mean, she's gorgeous. She's smiling. She's friendly. She never had a problem in her life.
Right. Yeah.
But you got through that. And I'm going to tell you, most of the people that were bullied and felt that kind of pain in school, those are the ones that grow up to be the beautiful people.
Well,
a lot of them do. You know why? Because they understand the importance of kindness.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I do not forget the horrific details and minutia of what these kids did to me. It has never left my memory, even as I age and enter almost my 50s now. I could recall every single smell, taste, sound, touch of what I went through. And, your scars can be your bitterness or your scars can be your witness. And so I've just made that choice to let those scars be my witness to encourage other people.
I think a lot of people want to put it in a box and try to forget everything. And I don't ever recommend that because that box will open and you won't have a choice when. It's going to happen. Right. So to be able to have that a wide open and look at it, and instead of trying to forget it, redefine it and create something good out of it.
Right.
Every beautiful building that you see anywhere you go is built on a foundation that is dirty and muddy and in the ground. And you cannot build the beauty until you have the foundation of something stronger.
Right.
And that some of that pain is our strength.
Right. And not everybody is going to go public with an organization or like you and I. And I don't encourage that for everybody. This is not for everybody. No. We still need to deal with the crap. The body keeps score. And if you don't deal with the traumas that you went through as a kid, whether it's going to be privately and publicly, it will manifest.
But we want people to share. I mean, they don't have to make it their life's mission like you and I have.
Right.
People like you and me, Karen, and all the wonderful people that you work with, there's almost a calling for us.
Yes.
And whether you want to go with the spiritual end or just the simple, I think I found my place.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, there's a calling for us. But I encourage everybody, speak to your darkness, speak about those things, because when your child hears you talk about it openly, they know it's okay to talk about it openly.
Right.
When they're hurting.
Right.
When your friend at work hears that you're not perfect and you suffer, they will say something. People don't have to. Suffering in silence is what kills people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I do the funerals. I do the funerals for them.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. I'll tell you, COVID was hard. I definitely know in 2020 more people that died by suicide and overdose than COVID. They were reaching out to me. It was awful. I did a Zoom funeral, and a mother had taken her life in the middle of 2020. And in the funeral home, they would only allow, like 8 people. Everybody else had to attend through Zoom. Well, those 8 people included her 8-year-old daughter. So I, presided over this ceremony with 8 people in a huge funeral home with the 8-year-old daughter square in the middle and everybody watching on Zoom. It was so beyond dark.
Mm.
It was a chasm, thank God we're not there anymore.
You're choosing to do something that is innately painful.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't save everybody.
No.
I mean, we should try. We should always try. There's never a point where you say, I can't help them. You help them until you can't. I mean, you help them until it stops. But there's got to be times when you're lying in bed saying, I can't, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
This hurts too much.
Right.
Well,
it's weird. And not everybody understands, like you and I do, that we have an ongoing struggle and we're helping people with that same struggle. My suicide temptations are not in my past. I still struggle with wanting to take my life. And you probably still get tempted with what you struggle with. Maybe you don't. I don't want to speak for you.
Well, it's not necessarily like a temptation as much as I get reminders all the time.
Yeah.
I get reminders. And sometimes it's even that I can't believe I used to be that.
Right.
And I got to remind myself, do the right things or that will return.
Right. But like oncologists don't have had cancer, and psychologists don't necessarily have had mental trauma. You and I are out there doing this, and we also are living with it, I am living with it. So how do you do that, right? How do you struggle with suicide, not die by suicide, and help 10,911 people that have asked for a life box not give up? I just have to have boundaries. I have a limited bandwidth.
That's it. What is the motivations though? When you wake up the next morning and you just like all night, you're saying, I'm done. I'm not going to do this anymore. I can go sell cars. Yeah. Or ice cream or, I'm just going to go sit on the beach until whenever. And then something kicks in the morning and you find yourself showering and doing your hair and getting dressed and going out the door to do it all over again.
Yeah.
What is it that keeps you going?
Well, great question, Scott. I know what it's like to want to die. And I also know what it's like to get to live. And I want that for everybody. I want that for the homeless person on State Road 7. And I want that for the most famous celebrity in the world. I don't want anybody to die by suicide. And I know there is a way out of that for everybody.
Absolutely. Was there somebody or something that was influential in you changing from where you were to where you are now? What was it that pointed you in the other direction? Why didn't you just keep going down the rabbit hole of depression?
Right.
What brought you out of that?
I think the turning point was the suicide attempt I had in the year 2000 as a newly married pastor's wife. Now, there's not a lot of
usually don't hear those two things together. Suicide and newly married pastor's wife.
Exactly. Right? Let me tell you something. That's not viral. That's not going viral anytime soon.
Right.
There are not a lot of people signing up to be newlywed, suicidal pastors' wives. But I was one. And long story short, my husband showed up to the scene where I was taking my life and couldn't stop me. He called 911. First responders couldn't stop me. I had become extremely supernaturally violent and strong and aggressive and belligerent. So they had to tranquilize me and knock me out to save my life. And then they Baker acted me. And for anybody that's listening or watching that's not in Florida, that's a state mandatory stay in a psychiatric ward for 72 hours.
Yeah. And then if they determine you have to be locked up, they lock you up and move into a Marchman Act, which is a legal move. Right. But so you ended up in a psych ward.
So not only was I in a psych ward, but it was deplorable. This was 23 years ago. We've come a long way with dignifying psychiatric wards. But where I was every bit of what you would think of in a psycho thriller movie. It was a dungeon.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
Yes.
folks. Watch it.
Yes. And they treated me like I was like cattle, like we were cattle.
Wow.
But they put me in isolation. The violence that I had displayed toward the first responders and my husband, they didn't, and for the safety of others, they locked me up in a room by myself. I was in a 4-sided room with a cot. They wouldn't let me have anything. And so you lie there, and I had piss on me and barf and blood. I was starving, but they just locked me in with my demons in a room and put a security guard outside of my room. And that was it. And that was July 30th, 2000. And I was like, my first thought was, you loser. You can't even kill yourself, right?
I know that feeling.
Right?
Yeah.
Second thought, there is no coming back from this. You are a pastor's wife who was suicidal in a psych ward. Good luck. And that was my point of reckoning. I was just like, God, here's the deal. You got to get me out of here, please. I beg you, because it was deplorable. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, if you can get me out of here, I'll help people not end up here. And that was 23 years ago.
Wow. So you had your moment of clarity, I guess you could say, while you're lying there in your own excrement, and which is crazy. I mean, because that's, with my drinking, it was a similar situation where I was probably as drunk as I ever was. I was suicidal. I was, I got arrested, and I've been arrested before, spent time in jail before, but this time was different. And they had to drive me past my house. And I was drunk. I remember nothing. I remember getting pulled over. I remember them trying to do a sobriety test. They opened the door. I fell onto the street. So I pretty much failed from the beginning.
Yikes.
But they drove past my house, and for a moment, as they stopped the stop sign right in front of my house, and I saw shadows of my children moving in the house, I sobered up for that moment. That was my moment of clarity. And I said, everything you know and love is gone. And that's when I had to make my change. So I know it's in those weird moments, those moments. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that either don't get those moments, or those moments come at a point when it's too late. They've already swallowed the bottle of pills. They've already done the damage. They've already put themselves in a position where they're never going to get out of prison. Those kind of things go on. So I understand your mission. Yeah. I just don't. And like Scott, I can't fix what's causing people to want to give up. I can't bring back the child they lost. I can't fix generational curses. I can't take away that craving for that addiction. I can't do any of that stuff. I'm a simpleton. I just you keep saying that. I just don't want. You're not a simpleton by any way, shape, or form. I have to stay in my lane. Yeah. And my lane is nobody can help you if you're dead. None of the experts. So let's all stay alive, and let me get you a life box, and let me get you some resources, and let's start from there. The life box, to me, it's like that moment when you're in the water, you're about to go down, and you see that life preserver, and somebody throws it to you. You still got to grab it. You still got work to do. Right. But there's hope. Right. And more importantly, somebody sees you. Yes. And somebody hears you. How important is that? Oh, yeah. In those moments. Oh, yeah. Because, I've battled with suicide. And one of the lies that almost caused me to take my life as not only a pastor's wife, but a mother, was that you are replaceable and you wouldn't be missed. Or the world's better off without you. Yes. You had that one. Yeah. Yes. And that becomes wickedly believable when you're vulnerable and isolated and alone. And so the life box is curated to every single person's situation. And I know that sounds so not sustainable, but I'm not worrying about that. Okay. Right now, you request it and you say, you check off that it's for you, your
irreligious, you're a homosexual, you're dealing with addiction, and you have depression, and that's what you indicate on the online request form. We are going to curate our life box for you for that situation, and we are going to ship it to you with a personal handwritten card done by my team that says you matter, and you're irreplaceable, and we believe in you, and we hope this box brings you some encouragement.
I want to talk about your team in a minute because I met them and they're incredible people. Almost as dedicated as you, probably, hopefully just as much. Yeah. But how does somebody get in touch with this? And is this something you can request for someone else?
Yes. I would say, Scott, out of the 10,911 life boxes we've done, about half are from concerned loved ones or strangers.
Okay.
Or strangers.
Interesting.
Yes, we've had people say, this person doesn't know me. They don't know I'm requesting this, but I think they need it. And we send it.
Wow. Now, they have to pay you then a whole lot of money, right?
Yeah, no, they're always shipped for free.
Wow.
Wonderful. Just keeps praying for resources to keep going. But no, they're never charged. And we, not only that, Scott, they are 2-day priority shipped because time is of the essence when you want to give up.
This is one of the problems I found. There's a lot of programs out there that will wait and will help you, but we can't help you now.
Yeah.
That's like walking across a bridge. Somebody's about to jump and saying, I can help you, but I'm going to have dinner first.
Right.
When I come back, if you're still here,
right,
I'll help you.
Right.
But we have to help them immediately. So I'm glad you do that.
Yeah. 2-day priority. And the postage is killing me. But I just keep the faith, and we're just going to keep doing it.
It is a wonderful thing. You do accept donations.
We totally accept donations.
So if you check out the website, and you can give a couple dollars.
You can sponsor a life box for somebody for $25.
There you go.
$25 will cover the life box full of stuff and the shipping. So you could sponsor this for somebody and help them not give up.
So give me an example of what might be in a life box.
So I brought, great question. So funny you should ask, Scott.
Yeah, you just happen to have them stacked right there.
Look at you. So this one was for a male that is battling depression.
Okay.
Okay. So, first of all, you open it up and there is a QR code here. And if you scan it with your phone, it's a personal video from me, because I don't want these people to think I'm looking down on them trying to help them. I want them to know I'm with them.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's good.
So they can find out, they'll meet me on that video. But you open it up, and for a male for depression, of course, there's the handwritten card. Handwritten card. Everybody gets a wristband that says never give up. Do you have one? I should give you one.
No, I do not.
I need to give you one. Stress ball, a pop-it keychain. How about that?
I love these.
Lifesavers, get it? Play on words.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. This particular one, like I said, is for a man battling depression. So there's a Bible in here, but there's also a resource called Hope for the Depressed. And there's even a more specific one, Men with Depression, a resource in there. And then, Scott, like people for like you and me, when we're going through the dark seasons, our mind's our worst enemy. And we got to get our mind off our mind. So we're very intentional to give people something to do. That's why they get the pop-it keychain. That's why, look at this guy. This guy's getting a crossword puzzle book and a journal and a pen and a 988 lifeline card and what to do if you start to panic, how to calm yourself, and Post-it notes and chapstick and tissues. Because when you're sad, whether you're a dude or a chick, you cry, man, you're hurting. So that's just some of the stuff we put in there.
But when you open that up, you're not just opening up a box of doodads and things.
Right.
You're opening up a box of someone cares.
Yes.
You're opening up a box of possibilities, of, like you said, resources. And if somebody gives you a Bible, I don't care whether you believe in the Bible, study the Bible, don't do it, not religious, agnostic, atheist. I don't care what you are. When somebody hands you a Bible, there's a special meaning in that. I'm sharing what I feel, my faith with you. You don't have to adopt the faith.
Right.
Just understand that I'm willing to share it.
Well, I just want,
and that's important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want all of this I want everybody to know that's listening. I practice what I preach. What's in here is what I have used. And Scott, I don't want to brag, but I have struggled with suicide for 41 years, but I'm still here. So my integrity demands that I put in these boxes what's worked for me. And that's why they're curated the way they are, as well as to the person's specific plight.
Wow. See, that's amazing. We've got a couple of comments here. We've got Sandy saying, amazing message and life work.
Thanks, Sandy.
So she's with us. It's my mom, by the way.
I know, but she's a great artist
Sandy,
too.
mom. Yes.
Sandy, you're such a good painter. I love the two pieces he has over here, especially the songbird one.
And Anna Schaefer.
Oh yeah, I know.
With us saying, hearts and.
I know Anna. Hi, Anna.
Thank you for joining us. Certainly, if you have any questions, we still got a little bit of time here. But all right, so this is really important. Where do you want to go? I mean, you've done 10,000 boxes. You know, let's say we've impacted many more lives than that just because of what you do. And I was impacted the first time I saw what you guys were doing, because I'm like, look what these people dedicate themselves to.
Yeah.
You know, how many people don't even think about the other person or what's going on?
Right.
How many times do we have to have a Robin Williams in this world where we take all the good stuff, but we don't look at what's really going on with them?
Right.
What do you want people to know? What do you want people to take away from this and maybe continue on?
Well, that's a great question. And I know you said I'm not a simpleton, but I do think in simple terms. So I'm going to answer this in a simple way. I think that humanity is represented by this huge jigsaw puzzle box that the guy upstairs holds. Mm-hmm. And every piece in that jigsaw puzzle box represents every single human being that's ever been on earth. And if I take my life, I remove myself from this beautiful, perfect jigsaw puzzle that's complete because I'm in it. And so if I die by suicide, you know, nobody could go back to the box and find a backup piece. And nobody can go back to the jigsaw puzzle box and find a piece and contort it to fit into the space that was designated for me. Everybody is the only one of them. And whether your life sucks right now or is blessed beyond measure, either way, you don't have to be you. You get to be you because you're the only one of you.
And you have gifts that you bring the world.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and I know that because my thought was always my children would be better off if I was dead.
Yep.
Certainly my wife would have been, you know, and she lost her battle and died.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that kind of thinking going on.
Yeah.
And I thought that my place in the world was a place that should be eliminated.
Right. Yeah. No.
And then I find out the truth about that and what we all learn from each other and what we all do for each other.
I mean, and here's what I tell people that are even serving life sentences in prisons. You know, I mean, you know, that's a challenging group to encourage to not die by suicide. But I'm confident in the fact that, I mean, you've got so many gifts. I mean, you're a painter, you're a musician, you're an instructor, you're a podcast host, you're a refurbisher of furniture. I mean, you've got so many gifts, but nobody has your story.
No.
So your gifts might be repeated in humanity, but your story is not.
And those gifts are only found because I believe in possibility.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way to have possibility is to keep breathing.
Right.
Make it one more day. There's possibility. Right. There's possibility in trying new things and doing new things. A lot of people choose to sit in their pain.
Yeah.
And they don't look at anything beyond that pain.
And I can have compassion on that.
Oh, certainly. Yes.
You and me have both lost and have had to grieve. And grieving is tough. You sit in the ashes for a long time.
It is very difficult.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've seen people, I mean, everybody deals with it a little bit different, but
here, you know, what I say, Scott, is to all of that is there's a famous Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. But there's a line in that Psalm that says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. And the operative word is walk.
Mm.
I walk through my valley of my shadow of death. I don't sit there. I don't lie
I
down.
love that.
I don't roll over. I don't give up. I don't surrender. I'm in a valley of the shadow of death, but I'm walking.
Wow. See, now I love that. Walk through the valley of shadow of death. If you knew, I never thought about how important that word walk was.
Walk is the operative word.
Because if you're not moving,
then
you've given up.
Yeah.
And if there is no hope in giving up. There's no faith in giving up. There's nothing in giving up.
Right.
You have to keep moving.
If you just sit down in that cesspool in the valley of the shadow of death, you hurt you. You hurt everybody looking up to you, and you hurt everybody down the road that missed out on your legacy.
We see that in addiction all the time.
Yeah.
In alcoholism, where you can see where they're like, it's never going to change.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be different. I reserve myself that this is how I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much setting down in the valley of death.
Yeah.
And with suicidal ideations, self-loathing and all that stuff, that's very possible too.
And generational curses. This is the way it's always been.
Oh,
I hate that. But Psalm 23, and I'm telling you, I mean, that psalm's been around for a while. Just saying, bro,
like a little while,
like 4,000 years. Okay, so it's got some credence.
I think so.
Okay, and it says walk.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. If you're stepping on broken glass, you move your ass to the door. You get moving.
Walk.
You can stand in it and bleed.
Right. Or you walk.
You walk. Yes. Is it going to be a painful walk?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
But it's a walk with purpose and goal and direction.
Right. Right.
Totally.
Totally.
I love that. You're 10,000 boxes. You certainly go to wonderful.com. It's right there on the screen. Check it out. Hey, if you could donate. If you got somebody who's in need, please call on them.
Yes.
But what do you want to see happen with this? I mean, you can keep going and doing this, but do you have broader visions about this expanding and seeing this in more places and more?
Yeah.
Because I mean, you can only handle so much.
Right. But and I've wrestled with the vision of it, Scott, because it can't be an assembly line product.
No, that's why you need local people doing it.
So then I'm thinking, I wonder if someday down the road there becomes wonderful chapters throughout the country.
That I think would be awesome.
Yeah.
I think that'd be terrific. You're in New York City, you're in Chicago, you're in
that would help on the postage too. Just saying.
You're in Boston. Not that I want to help anybody in Boston.
Oh
no, I'm kidding. No, we'll forget.
Where are you from?
No, I'm from Syracuse, New York, originally.
Oh gosh.
But I spent 20 years. I spent 20 years in Jersey.
Okay.
And worked in Philadelphia for 20 years.
So do
TV and radio.
So do New York, and I can see another gift, people. Another gift. I'm telling you, like if I could quote DJ Khaled, and another one. Okay. He's got gifts on gifts. But is there a beef between New Jerseyans and Bostonians and Chicagoans?
It's really New York City and Boston.
That's the beef?
Me, it's Philadelphia. Philadelphia has a beef with Dallas and New York. And that's what, I did a lot of work with the Eagles and different things like that. So, but let's get back on track here. We've been talking about all that stuff. But it would be cool to see chapters.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you need help here? Do you need volunteers?
We do.
Is there any kind of help that you need with even product or something?
Right. So we have an Amazon registry where people can donate items that we need for the life boxes. And we also have a warehouse where we need help curating them. We do a lot of students because they can get their service hours. So, and I'm very generous when I sign the service hour document. But we have retired people, we have college students, just email me and we'll first set you up on what we call a tour and tea, where we give you a tour and a t-shirt. And then after that, if you're like, yeah, man, I see myself volunteering here, then boom, you'll be added to the volunteer roster.
Tell me about some of the people that are working with you now. Are these good? These are good people.
Solid. Great. And I'm glad you asked that. I do a lot of interview podcasty things. Nobody has ever asked that. So
really?
No. This is getting the Oscar nom right here. This podcast. We're not dealing with candles and baskets and toolkits for men that need to fix their cars. Okay, we're dealing with death. Every life box that has come in, the requests have been, some have been you can't even release your mind from the reason they're requesting it. You can't even, you ruminate on it.
Yeah.
We had it, for one example, at Christmas time, a mother that was suicidal because her daughter murdered her fiance and killed herself. We did a life box for a little boy whose mother was planning the murder of her little boy and the suicide of herself. And the authorities got tipped and got involved. And we sent a life box to the little boy. I mean, this is just two. Okay.
Wow.
So the team that signs up, or the volunteers that sign up and say, I'll make life boxes. It's not easy. It's not easy.
It's not. I mean, you got to go to pick. Where do you find your people? At Saints R Us? I mean, where are you looking? Where are you getting these people that are willing to put themselves out there?
Yeah.
You don't just send a box; you send emotion with that box.
Oh, for sure.
And sometimes it's draining.
We are some of these. The volunteers are crying as they're curating them.
Anna's got a comment. She says, "Wow, love it. Valley of the Shadow of Death." Thank you, Anna.
Oh, thanks, Anna.
That's great. So these are great people, and all volunteer.
Yep, I have a few part-timers. I don't take a salary, but I do have bookkeeping. I needed to.
No, you have to have that,
and
because you have a nonprofit, so you got to have somebody run that.
And then someone running in the office is Julie, and so there's but we have like a volunteer base of probably on rotation, 50 people that willfully come in during different times of the year and curate these boxes. And God bless them, because that's a mental sacrifice.
I got to tell you something. You've described yourself as simpleton.
Mm-hmm.
You described yourself as very, just doing your little thing.
Just doing my little thing.
And you have motivated 50 people to change the world.
Yeah. Oh,
that is beyond amazing.
Thank you.
If each person can motivate 5 people to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Imagine what this world would be. And here you are, you got 50 people all following you into this. I'm going to ask you, what is the story of the very first box you sent? I got to know this. How did this box come to be in the brain of Heather?
Right. So it was during COVID, during shutdown, and a acquaintance of mine reached out to me, left me a voicemail crying because she just didn't want to live anymore. Now, I am a white Christian heterosexual that struggles with suicide. She is a Jewish lesbian who struggles with drugs and alcohol.
Sounds like a best friends right there.
And she was so close to taking her life. And so I said, well, I can't visit you because we're in a shutdown. So let me just make a box of things for you to give you hope. Okay.
And it was just that simple. You said, let me get a box of things together.
Well, let me put it. What has helped me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just hold on.
Okay.
Let me make a box of things that I've used. Don't give up yet. Just at least let me get this sent to you. And she had her coworker video her while she was opening it. And she was undone. She was gushing tears, wiping her face so she could see as she was pulling out the items.
Are you going to get me going?
And then as COVID went on, not only did she not die, but she started reaching out to me for the other addicts in her community, wanting life boxes for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So after that, I was like, God, give me the sustainability to do this until you tell me to stop or take me home.
I'm sure you've had miraculous moments and moments where.
Yeah, we've had miraculous moments. And to be honest with you, there's been some where it's made me want to quit.
Yeah.
We had to set up a memorial page on my website of Lifebox recipients that went on to die anyway. And I can't even say it because they're just, but your scars can be your bitterness or your scars can be your witness. And I thought, you know what, Scott, Can't save everybody.
No. And, I just, myself, five friends committed suicide. 5 people in my life, that close friends. It was all wrapped around addiction and mental health stuff. And then as far as overdoses and stuff, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't count, and I can't count that high.
Right.
It's pretty much nearly a weekly thing where we hear about somebody that we've had, because we've worked with so many people over the years.
Oh yeah.
You lose, and there's times, damn it, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
And then again, you find yourself lacing up the boots and going out and saying, but I have to. Yeah. But I have to. Yeah. And then there's the miracle moments to make it all worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once in a while, when people circle back around, it's so cryptic. I don't know you, and I don't know how I got this life box.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a gift from, it's so much more than just getting a box of things. I'm trying to explain this. When a child opens a gift.
Yes.
When a child opens a gift, it's not necessarily about the gift. It's about they are receiving something. And their whole body and soul is involved in the receiving of this thing. That's why we love to watch kids open gifts.
Right.
That's why as adults, we don't like getting gifts. Right. Because I don't want to put out all the effort it takes to act excited.
Right.
We don't get excited. It's like, thanks. Oh, a tie. Do I have to smile big or just little?
Right.
But we watch children, and when somebody is that deep into depression, into suicidal ideations, into addiction and mental health issues, and they receive something that
most are not expecting
complete surprise.
Yep. Most are not expecting it.
It's almost like it takes over the whole being for just that moment. It's a wonderment. It's a wonderment.
People have held on to their actual boxes. It's just cardboard, but they've actually, people have actually sent me pictures where they put it on their dresser. Keep it. We've also had a couple of misunderstandings, full disclosure.
Well, the name itself, we have to bring that up. Wonderful.
That's just that's because the founder, me, is a female. So I was like, I'm gonna stick an H in there. Why the heck not? But I mean, we do life boxes for men, women, children, students, elderly, Spanish, young, old, anything.
Gay, straight,
religious, irreligious, addicted, sober.
So you just got to be a human being to qualify.
You have to be a human being, and we just have to gather a little bit of information so we can curate it to the situation. And even if you don't, even if someone requests one, then my team knows how to put it together on a hunch.
That's, sometimes you just got to go on faith.
That's right.
This is what
we do. And we don't turn down anybody. We had somebody request a life box. They felt suicidal because they had to put their cat to sleep. We curated a pet loss life box for them.
That is so cool.
Yeah, sure did.
That is so cool because, some people are serious about that stuff.
That's right.
And everybody's different. If your team loses in the Super Bowl, don't call for a life box.
Right. Right.
But
if the stock market went down,
yeah, come on.
You didn't win the lotto. No, we don't turn down anything though. Honestly, we don't turn down anything. My team is awesome. I've tattooed it on their faces. We say yes to every single request because we're not that person. We don't know what it's like being in their shoes.
I have some national podcasters that work out of California and some other places that actually have large national shows. I would love to set you up with them and get your word out.
Yeah, that would be huge. That'd be awesome.
So, my buddy Chris Roush, I'll be calling you, man, because this is somebody you need to be speaking to. I would like to get this word out a little bit.
That would be huge.
And I love the idea of if somebody's interested, maybe you should talk about doing chapters in different parts of the country. You can't do it all alone, but I am so pleased for the work that you do.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Pleased. What does your husband feel about all this? Because, all right, so first of all, he marries you because obviously, look at, hey, well, you got to nail that down.
But behind the lacquer, there's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Okay, come on.
He found that out afterwards.
Of course he did.
He found that out. That wasn't part of the.
Master of disguise.
That wasn't. Yeah. You're not walking down the aisle. By the way, I'm nuts.
Crazy lady.
So he finds that out. Then he has to go through all of that.
Yeah.
Then he has to go through your recovery from that, which I'm sure wasn't 10 minutes.
Right. Brutal. 52 weeks.
And then all of a sudden now he went from a wife that was a wife to a wife that was crazy to a
Right.
wife that's recovering to a wife with a mission.
Yeah, I know.
How has he survived all of that? I just got to ask for the guys.
Right. I know. Listen, I wouldn't have blamed him if he would have left me many a time. It's not easy to be married to me. And in a serious note, you know, my husband, if he was here, would say over the last 23 years, there have been many days where he's been afraid to come home and open the garage.
Understood.
And he's had to wrestle with this tension. I didn't hear from her today. I know she's in a dark, you know, it's just not easy being married to me. With the life boxes, he's my biggest advocate, except for the fact that when we first started off, I might have been using his credit card to support this mission. And he was like, about that.
Yeah. I get it.
Let's have a little chat.
He's like, yeah, support goes this far. Let's not take it this far.
Right.
Yeah. But, you know, obviously he's proud of you. I'm proud of what you do. I am so, again, honored just to even know you.
Thanks.
And to know that somebody with a mission like this.
Yeah.
And it's so important. I'd love to have you back. We can talk more about this some other time. Maybe even have a couple of your people come with you
They'd
sometime.
love to.
Talk about it.
Pick their brains, or my volunteers would love that. They'd love to talk about it. You know, they got their boots on the ground, man.
And does everybody have in the back of your mind now? Obviously, you've got certainly your own personal story and reasons for doing what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the reason behind everything is save people, certainly. But everybody's got a little motivator to themselves. Have you talked to your employees about?
Yeah.
You know, not employees. Sorry, your team, your staff team, about what motivates them. And have you had some great stories? From them too?
Oh yeah. I mean, Julie, who's the one that kind of helped me start this from the very beginning. Her daughter was killing herself in her bedroom with the door locked and putting it on Snapchat. And a friend called a small group leader who called me, and we called 911. And, you know, Julie is, you know, she's like my right-hand man. She does everything, but yeah, she's definitely knows what it's like. And then the other volunteers, they've been affected in one way or another. The interesting thing though, is we have volunteers that have never once had any kind of interaction with suicide. They just like the concept. Well,
there are people out there that have been blessed, you know, with a life that they haven't had to have certain struggles, but they recognize they could have.
Right. Maybe,
or that their son or daughter could, or that their aunt or uncle could.
Right.
And they want to give back.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things that's missing in this world. Certainly people who have been through the darkness want to run around with flashlights for everybody else.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people that have never seen the dark that don't own flashlights. They don't even care.
Great analogy.
I'd love to see people out. Everybody should have a flashlight. Everybody should help everybody.
Right.
And I'm telling you right now, the magic behind all of this, and it's magic, it's faith, it's miraculous, it's all these things. But the real magic behind this is people need to know that they're seen.
Yes.
They need to be heard. They need somebody to acknowledge their existence.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, that's the last thread that breaks, is when you feel your existence isn't even there anymore.
Nobody would miss me.
Yeah. So this is really important. Please go to wonderful.com. It's right there on the screen. WONDHERFUL.com. Go there, look at the information. If you could donate enough to send one box. And if you could donate more. Anything that you can give. And certainly the Amazon, you've got the Amazon where that's hooked up there. You could buy some of the product that goes in there and help them out that way. You know, helping somebody doesn't mean you have to see who you're helping.
Right.
Helping somebody just means that you do something. And, you know, the only way for evil to prevail is for good people to do nothing. So do something. Do something.
And he preaches.
I don't preach.
What? Gifts on gifts. Gifts on gifts.
I actually was a minister.
Of course you were. Of course. Next thing you're going to tell me is I actually led a country once.
No, just the Republican Party in South Jersey.
Okay.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for Heather. Just God bless you. You're awesome.
Thanks,
what
man.
You do is fantastic.
We're in this together, Scott.
Yes, we are. And anything that obviously Karen and I can do here for you guys. You want to get your word out.
Yeah.
This is an open studio, an open
awesome.
forum for you. Anything you guys need, we're there.
That'd be awesome. Thank you. Thanks for believing in me.
Always, always. And for all of you out there, again, please check it out. We want to thank Heather for joining us. We want to thank, we had a few people commenting, a bunch of people out there watching us. So I appreciate you taking some time on this Friday afternoon to watch. And if you're watching the replay of this, please remember, like this page, share it with your friends, and more importantly, reach out and do something good. Do something good today. Instead of going out and spending that $25 on the movies today, why don't you send $25 that'll send a box to somebody who may never see a movie again, all right, without your help. So
that's good.
We need that. Thank everybody for joining us. We'll catch you next time right here on the Sober Life Podcast. Take care.